All right, so in the last day, we seen footage of Tyson Fury being escorted out of a bar in Morecambe, and yeah, looking to say the least like he had probably about one drink too many. That's to put it mildly. Now, Tyson Fury is someone who, throughout the course of his career, has, to say the least, and to put it mildly, not lived the athlete's lifestyle. If he's fighting once, maybe twice a year, he's living that life for maybe about 3 months or so of the year, or 3 months going into camp, and then, back to eating and drinking and doing God knows what the rest of the time. And ultimately, I feel like that caught up on Tyson Fury. I felt that it was catching up on Tyson Fury before the Alexander Usyk fight. I mean, if you go back and look at his fight against Derek Chisora, although he won that fight pretty clearly, comprehensively anyway, beating Derek Chisora, that was a washed Derek Chisora. That was a Chisora who really, I mean, he shouldn't be fighting now, I don't think, much less even against Tyson Fury. He didn't deserve that fight anyway, beating Kubrat Pulev, his only win in a couple of years. And Chisora was still able to get in close on Tyson Fury, and Fury, he was never in trouble, but he didn't look mad sharp. So you could see the decline as far back as nearly 2 years ago. Now, I'm not having a go with Tyson Fury for going out and, having a few drinks. God only knows how many drinks he did have, because Fury is about, 6'7", 6'8", say 290, now that he's obviously not doing as much training. So God only knows how much drink he would have had to get himself that badly drunk. I mean, it must have been a crazy amount, because he could probably drink more than the average man. So God only knows how much he had on Friday night. That must be an insane amount. That's not necessarily the problem. I mean, if you look at the UK, you look at Ireland, go to Dublin City on a Saturday night. Don't actually do that. Actually, certain streets you don't go down, like Store Street. You don't do that. But, you see people drunk and all over the place everywhere. And I'm sure most people, the overwhelming majority listening, have had occasions where they've been fall down drunk. That's not where we're having a go at. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to have a go at him for that. It's what it is, right? The problem is, there's a few things. One, with Tyson Fury, all right, as I said, I think all this not living the life outside the ring, not being a 24/7, 365 athlete has already caught up to Tyson Fury. And shock horror, he's getting older. It's not going to get any better. I looked at Tyson Fury, and obviously at the time when they did the original weigh-in for Fury Usyk, the big talking point was, because we didn't know at the time, Michael Buffer incorrectly announced Alexander Usyk's weight as, I think it was a 232, 233. It was in the 230s, which was unheard of for Alexander Usyk. We'd never even seen him close to that weight. Now, that was the big talking point, because we were like, what the hell, why is he weighing so heavy? Subsequently, it emerged that Michael Buffer made a little, what a boo-boo, and he was 223, which is normal. Had they just said 223, I would have been probably talking post-weigh-in about how Tyson Fury looked, because he came in the 260s, which is light by his standards. But I thought he looked poor. I thought that his body didn't look quite right. I thought that even at a heavier weight, like against Wilder in the rematch, aesthetically, he looked a little bit better. He had a bit more kind of fat to muscle ratio. His body just looked really messed up, like, not in a bad way, but it's not in a good way either. But his body just didn't look really to have anything in it. I mean, you look at, he's never going to be Joe Six-Pack muscle bound or anything like that. But again, you look at him, 270 something against Wilder in the second fight. You could see a little bit of muscle definition there. You couldn't see any of that against Usyk. Certainly not at the weigh-in, and he was lighter, so you'd think it would stand out a little bit more. None of it. And I was thinking, man, he's messed up his body. Like, even when he's gone through a good camp, probably by his standards, you're like, that still's not right. And at times in there, he did look an old man. At times he looked very good, but at times he did look an old man in there. And again, you got to point the fact out that Alexander Usyk is older than Tyson Fury. He's a year and a bit older. But he does not look, I mean, if you'd said to someone who didn't know either guy, you'd say, this is Tyson Fury, this is Alexander Usyk. Who do you think is older? And what do you think the age difference is between both guys? You turn around and you say Tyson Fury is older, and he's probably a good few years, not crazy amounts, but he's probably a few years older than Usyk, and you'd say he's actually the younger man by just over a year. And you wouldn't realise it. Fury, throughout the course of his career, has never lived the athlete's life 365. He's always had his camp his detox part of training camp where he loses weight and, has to eat clean, stuff like that. Whereas Alexander Usyk, I mean, they say anymore, the man just lives the life. I mean, I'd say that's probably all he's ever done throughout his whole life. He used to dance as a child, play football as a child, still plays football now, boxing. I would say Alexander Usyk is someone who finds it harder to stay out of a gym or to stay away from training than he does anything else. I say that it's almost the opposite with Tyson Fury. He's someone where if you say, right, we're going to go train, you probably get a big... Whereas Alexander Usyk, it was probably a case of, well, you can't train today for whatever reason. The same response, oh no. Because that strikes me as the kind of guy he is. And this is all crucial because I know some people are going to say, well, it's 6 months is a long time. 6 months is a long time, but in a fighter's kind of lifespan, if you want to call it that, it's not really that long, is it really, when you think about it? And Alexander Usyk, I listened to that man's video on this, and he was saying that Usyk in an interview is already looking at what he did wrong in the first fight and trying to rectify that. So he's already in preparation for this rematch. He might not be doing, rigorous training, but I'm sure he's ticking over doing something. He's already looking to right the wrongs that he did first time around. He won. And he won it pretty convincingly. And he's still looking to look at the mistakes he made, to iron them out going into this rematch. What's Tyson Fury doing? Getting something faced on a Friday in Morecambe and being escorted out. Is he trying to right the wrongs? No. Has he looked at this situation and said, right, I lost? He might feel he won. I don't think he did. And his rationale behind it, which I really didn't like, which we know, he said why Usyk got the decision. I didn't like that at all. He should still be able to go and say, right, I lost. I felt like I won. I need to make improvements. And this is the kick up the backside that I need to do that. I'm not going to go and touch alcohol. I'm not going to eat whatever I want. I'm going to go straight back in the gym. I'm going to be focusing on the mistakes I made. I'm going to right those wrongs. I'm going to iron them all out. And I'm going to be even better than I was first time around. Alexander Usyk won the fight and he's trying to do that. Tyson Fury lost and he's not doing that. So how do you envision he's going to win this rematch? Ask me that question. How do you envision it? And I spoke in a previous video that I feel like Fury has kind of morphed into or followed Deontay Wilder's blueprint, where Wilder wanted all yes men. He wanted to make excuses as to why he lost to Tyson Fury. His team started making excuses. A little brother saying that he needed an autopsy. Yeah, he actually said that. The egg weights, the gloves, the referee was in on it, Mark Breland, all this. You bring in Malik Scott, who's going to say yes. You keep JD's, who was always just going to be a yes man, yes sir, no sir. That's what it is. It's just always a yes sir, whatever you say. And, all these yes men around. You look at Tyson Fury, that's all he has now. Shane Fury, easy fight. Tommy Fury thinks Tyson Fury won easy. You have that Spencer Brown guy. You have all these yes men in Team Fury. And they're all gassing him up and saying, yeah, you were raw, you were job, man, you won this fight. So he's probably thinking, well, I don't need to do anything different this time around. I beat him. I just didn't get the decision, so now I can do whatever I want. In reality, I'm sure deep down he can't believe that. But saying that, if deep down he doesn't believe that he got job, surely he'd be trying to fix things. He'd be trying to do more. He'd be trying to do better. I don't know. Clearly doesn't seem that way. And again, you could say, well, 6 months is 6 months. Well, yeah, as I said earlier, 6 months in a fighter's life, especially an aging fighter, is actually not long at all. If Alexander Usyk is already preparing for this rematch, he's already trying to right the wrongs that he did first time around when he won pretty clearly. So he's trying to be even better this time around. Tyson Fury, I don't recall when this fight was announced. It was before, it was officially kind of leaked before the Ngannou fight. He has the Ngannou fight. He went straight into camp and then he did this. So realistically, he had trained from pretty much October. He'd already been taken over for the Ngannou fight, but he didn't train properly for it. So he'd been taken over from October all the way to May. That wasn't enough. He now has another 6 months. And how does he start it? He starts by going out and getting, again, escorted out of a pub for being too intoxicated. How is that going to help him win this fight? And, I love this quote by Socrates. And Socrates is a great philosopher. It's brilliant sayings. Smart people learn from everyone and everything. The average people learn from, I'm paraphrasing, but it goes something like their mistakes. I don't think it's quite that, I think it's experience, actually, is how he said it. I think the average people learn from experience. The stupid people already have all the answers. I'm not saying Tyson Fury is stupid, but his team seem to have all the answers, whereas Alexander Usyk is learning from everyone and everything. There you go. The contrast between the two teams is vast. It really is. And I think that quote, that saying, really, I think it was Socrates who said, I'm pretty sure it was. It was definitely him. Could have been Plato, but I think it was definitely Socrates. It sounds like something he'd say, to be fair. The contrast between the two teams is night and day. And with the way Usyk is looking to fix what he did wrong in the first fight, you know, if he's even better than and he was very good first fight, if he's even better this time around, God only knows what Tyson Fury's in for, because I don't think he's going to be better. And I think that to give himself the best chance of being better, he needs to preserve himself. And as I think, going out and getting, escorted out of a pub, again, not saying he did anything necessarily wrong, but I'm just saying, if you want to put yourself in the best position to win this rematch, you quite literally, you want to be living like a monk. You want to be 100% sober. You want to be just ticking over for now, and then going into camp, not needing to lose weight, ready to go, and then we can turn the training level up to 10, because we're already good to go anyway. If Fury goes into camp and he has to shift weight, he's gonna have to try and detox a little bit off the alcohol. I'm not saying he's got a problem with it, but you know what I mean. Just maybe not be the sharpest coming into camp, have to lose weight. Well, how is he gonna iron out the mistakes? He's gonna have to spend the first couple of weeks of camp losing weight. Which he always has to do anyway. He's got to spend the first couple of weeks of camp losing weight. He's going to have to get his diet under control, whereas Alexander Usyk is already a couple of maybe even months ahead in his preparation. He's already done all that. All he has to do now is just get the sparring and work on the boxing training, So this rematch, if it happens in December, because some people think that Fury will need more time, I wouldn't rule it out. We were supposed to have this fight, the first fight, in December. Then we were supposed to have it in February. We ended up getting it in May. So God only knows. Well, could we have it in May 2025 instead? The first fight we were meant to have in December, and then February, and then May. Could history repeat itself? I don't know. With Tyson Fury, I can't see this rematch going well for him. And again, if he doesn't think anything wrong happened first time around, then he's delusional. Because he lost that fight clearly. And if he believes he just needs to turn up and be a little bit better, and maybe think, okay, well, I don't want to judge from this, or I don't want this. It's like none of that is going to matter. None of it's going to make any difference. Alexander Usyk is going to be even better second time around. He's going to be even more switched on. And you're going in there with the same plan that didn't work first time, and shock horror, it's not working second time. If it's going to work even less. So, look, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, again, I'm not having to go with him for, going out and letting his hair down and having a drink or anything like that. But if you want to stand yourself in the best stead to win this rematch, if you want to be at your optimum, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen if you're going out and just getting gargled constantly. I'm not saying he's doing it constantly, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Not a good sign for Tyson Fury, I would imagine, going into, or getting ready to go into rematch season. I was already making Usyk favourite going into this rematch, but I'm making him firm favourite now. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Were you one of these people who maybe thought Fury could pull the rematch off? Just making you second guess it? Again, at the end of the day, I don't want to labour the point, but Fury is an aged champion, as is Alexander Usyk. But there are ways to preserve yourself. Usyk is doing that, Fury isn't. It's as simple as that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you could, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Peace.